Okay, good afternoon to everyone and welcome to the today's class. Up to our last class, we've seen cylindrical rotor synchronous missions, right? So from today's class onwards, we are going to see salient pole synchronous missions. Okay. If you observe the voltage relation or reactance we considered in case of cylindrical rotor synchronous mission, that is only one reactance we considered, synchronous reactance Xs. Again, these synchronous reactance, it is a sum of armature reactance and leakage reactance, right? So we are considering only single reactance for armature reaction effect, XA, and to represent leakage reactance effect, we are considering XL in case of cylindrical rotor synchronous motion. Let us see in case of salient pole mission how the modifications will happen. Okay, let us see. Okay, salient pole synchronous motion. If you observe the air gap between stator and rotor in case of salient pole mission, it is not uniform, right? It is not uniform. It will vary. Okay. Along direct axis, the air gap is small, and along quadrature axis, the air gap is more. Right. So this is the salient pole rotor. The poles are projected outwards from the shaft. Okay. Then, if you observe the air gap between stator and rotor, it is not uniform, right? Along the direct axis. So this is the direct axis, right? Why we are calling it as a direct axis? The poles aligned with this axis. Based on the poles alignment, we can say the direct axis. So this is a direct axis, and this will be the quadrature axis. Okay. If you observe the air gap along the quadrature axis, the air gap is larger compared to a direct axis air gap between stator and rotor. Because of this non-uniform air gap, the reactance along direct axis is differed from the reactance along the quadrature axis. Why? You know, air gap, it is directly proportional to reluctance, right? Reluctance. If air gap increases, reluctance also increases. Due to increase in the reluctance or due to increase in the air gap, what happens to the armature reaction? What happens to armature reaction effect? The effect of armature reaction decreases. Armature reaction decreases. Why the effect of armature reaction decreases? Why? Because of increase in the air gap. What is mean by armature reaction? Effect of armature flux on main field flux. So to affect the main field flux, to affect this main field flux, this armature flux need to travel this, it need to cross this air gap, this reluctance. So the effect of armature flux on main field flux decreases because of this large air gap. Okay. So armature reaction decreases. Due to decrease in the armature reaction, what is this XA? Armature reaction reactance we considered in case of cylindrical rotor motion. So here I am writing this XA as XQ. Okay, this XQ will be smaller. Why I am representing with XQ means XAQ. Let us represent it with XAQ. XAQ means armature reaction reactance along quadrature axis. Okay, so quadrature axis armature reaction. Armature reaction. So along the quadrature axis, because of this large air gap, armature reaction effect will be lower. That's why I'm considering a smaller reactance along the quadrature axis and I represented it with XAQ. Similarly, if you consider along the direct axis, this is for quadrature axis. Along direct axis, what is the air gap? Air gap between stator and rotor, it is smaller compared to quadrature axis. Then what happens to the reluctance? Reluctance also decreases. What about armature reaction? Due to small air gap, this armature flux can easily travel through this air gap and it will affect this main field flux. So it will increase. Okay, and along the direct axis, I am representing my armature reaction reactance with XAD. Okay, where XAD, it is the direct axis armature reaction reactance. Reaction reactance. Okay, so from this, what we conclude? The armature reaction effect along direct axis XAD is greater than the effect along quadrature axis. And here we are considering two reactances instead of a single reactance because of the non-uniform air gap. If you observe in case of cylindrical rotor synchronous motion, the air gap between stator and rotor is uniform. That's why we considered only one reactance, XA, right? Here, we need to consider two reactances. So, the total reactance, total direct axis reactance, XT, direct axis reactance, XD, it is equal to sum of armature reaction along direct axis plus leakage reaction along direct axis. Similarly, quadrature axis reactance, it is equal to armature reaction reactance along Q axis XAQ plus leakage reaction along Q axis. Okay. So for every reactance, armature reaction reactance or leakage reaction reactance, we are considering two reactances based on the air gap along a direct axis, along a quadrature axis. Okay. So these things uh, analyzed by a scientist named as Blondel. Blondel. His name is Blondel. So that's why we call this one as Blondel theorem. Okay. So this concept we call it as two reaction theory or Blondel theorem. They may ask in examination like this also. Two reaction theory. Sorry, it is not theorem, theory. Sorry. Two reaction theory or Blondel theory. If they ask in examination regarding this two reaction or Blondel theory means you need to write the same thing what I discussed here. And in addition to this, you need to draw the phasor diagram also. Okay. So phasor diagram also you need to draw. Let us see the phasor diagram of salient pole synchronous generator. So what is the difference from cylindrical rotor synchronous motion? Only reactances are varying. Okay. So reactances, how they vary? Armature reaction and leakage reactances are separated based on the air gap along direct axis, along quadrature axis. Let us represent the phasor diagram. I'm starting from the reference V. I'm taking voltage V as a reference phasor. So this is my V, voltage V, terminal voltage. Let us take VT, V suffix T. Okay, this will be the output voltage of generator. And we have IA, armature current, lags this Vt by some angle. This is my Ia, and it lags this Vt by an angle, power factor angle theta. Let us take the power factor angle as theta. Okay. So this Ia can be resolved into two components, right? Direct axis component and quadrature axis component. This is a direct axis component, and this will be the quadrature axis component, IQ. The sum of the phasor sum of these two gives you IA. Okay, isn't it clear? Right? So next we need to represent armature winding resistance drop. Here we have two currents. Instead of single current, we have two currents. Why? It is a salient pole mission. Along direct axis, we have different reactants, and along quadrature axis, we have different reactances. That's why the current also will vary. That's why the direct axis current, I am taking it as ID, and quadrature axis current IQ, represented with IQ. So here, the drop due to armature resistance, armature winding resistance, also resolved into two components. The first one, it is IDRA, and this is, so this is IDRA, ID into RA, and this becomes IQ into RA. IQRA in phase with IQ, IDRA in phase with ID, resistance drop, right? So sum of these two, you got IARA, IARA, okay. I will redraw this one. It seems to be clumsy, right? So once again, I will draw it. So let us take once again. So VT as reference. Let us take this one as VT, terminal voltage, and then armature current. This is my armature current IA. It lags this one by power factor angle theta, and this component resolved into two. IA resolved into two. ID, this becomes ID, and another component, it will be IQ. IQ. So this will be IQ, and this will be the direct axis reactance direct axis current ID. Okay. So then what are the drops we have? We know that we have RA drop and we have leakage reactance resolved into two here, XLD and XLQ. Similarly, armature reaction drop reactance XAD, armature reaction along with direct axis and along with quadrature axis. Then this will be our ID into RA. Okay, this is ID current corresponding to this ID into RA in phase with it, and IQ we have. So this will be IQ. So IQ into RA. So sum of these two, IA, RA, vector sum of these two. Again, we need to represent the leakage reaction. Leakage reaction, so it is a reactance. If you consider this ID, if you consider this IQ, it is vertical, right? Then IQ XLQ, it will be like this, isn't it? So this will be IQ XLQ. Similarly, this will be ID XLD. This ID XLD, it is a reactance drop. That's why, see, it leads ID by 90 degrees, reactance drop. Okay. Sum of these two, IA into XL. Sum of these two again. Again, we need to represent this armature reaction drop. So I am representing this armature reaction drop. One second. So I'm representing this armature reaction drop as, so first I'm considering drop due to direct axis. We know that armature reaction drop is almost 85% of the drop. The voltage drop is due to armature reaction only. Almost 85% will be there due to armature reaction. That's why I'm representing the phasor, armature reaction voltage drop with a lengthy phasor, somewhat lengthy phasor compared to remaining phasors. Okay. So this drop, I'm representing it with. So this will be ID into XAD, direct axis component. Why? Because here we have direct axis current. Compared to this direct axis current, voltage drop should be in leading. Why? Because it is a lagging power factor. So next IQ. Next thing, quadrature axis armature reaction into quadrature axis current. Okay. This will be the phasor representation, and the sum of all these drops, if you add all this, you got the induced EMF E. Induced EMF. Okay. So this will be the phasor diagram of salient pole synchronous generator, and the angle between E and VT, we call it as a load angle or power angle. Okay. So from this, the internal power factor angle, psi, it is equal to delta plus theta. Power factor angle plus load angle. So this will be the psi. Angle between E and IA is the psi. Okay. And it is psi equal to delta minus theta for leading power factor, plus for lagging power factor, and minus for leading power factor. Now we drawn the phasor diagram for lagging power factor. That's why here Ia lags Vt by an angle theta. If you draw for leading power factor, then the psi internal power factor angle, it is delta minus theta. So further, I am simplifying this phasor diagram. If you observe this phasor diagram, it seems to be somewhat clumsy, right? That's why I'm going to simplify it. If I simplify this one, then we got so similarly VA will be there. This is the terminal voltage VT and armature current IA lags this terminal voltage by an angle theta, and this current resolved into two components, direct axis component and quadrature axis component. Okay, here we have ID into RA, this one in phase with IQ into RA. Sum of these two, it will be IA into RA, and I can add these two, right? Here if you observe the previous phasor diagram, ID into XAD plus ID into X. What is this sum? The sum of ID into XAD and ID into XLD, sorry, this one XLD, leakage reaction. Add these two. If you add these two, this phasor becomes, if you take common ID over here, then XAD plus XLD, right? So XAD plus XLD is the total reactance along direct axis. See here, XAD plus XLD, it is the total reactance. It is the total reactance along direct axis XD. So I can represent this one with ID into XD, the total phasor, vertical phasor. So that's why I am representing this phasor with ID into XD. So this will be our ID into XD. Okay. Similarly, we can also add this IQXAQ and IQXLQ. Okay. Here if you see, this is IQXAQ and this is IQXLQ. If you add these two phasors, you can able to take IQ as common, then XAQ plus XLQ. XAQ plus XLQ, it is XQ, quadrature axis reactance. So quadrature axis reactance into IQ. So I am representing the sum of those two with a single phasor. This one becomes IQ into XQ. So the sum of all these voltage drops is nothing but no load voltage. No load voltage E. Okay, here the angle between these two is delta and this is theta. Sum of these two, we represent it with psi, internal power factor angle. So this will be the phasor diagram for salient pole synchronous mission, and the difference between salient and cylindrical rotor missions is here. We are considering two reactances due to non-uniform air gap. That theory were proposed by Blondel. The scientist name were Blondel. That's why they named it as Blondel theory. Or another name for that one is two reaction theory. Why we are calling it as a two reaction theory means, here we are considering two reactances, right? Direct axis reactances and quadrature axis reactance. That's why they call it as a two reaction theory, or with a scientist named Blondel theory. Okay, this is what about uh, reactances and phasor diagram of salient pole synchronous mission. Is there any doubt regarding this? If it is clear means I'll proceed further. No doubts, right? Can I proceed? Okay. Let us proceed with further analysis. So let us take this simplified equivalent circuit. Let us consider, copy this one. I'll copy this one. So from the simplified phasor diagram, we are going to write the voltage equation and some other relations also we need. So we will need to derive those relations from this phasor diagram. So I'll copy this one to next page. So this is our this will be our this is our phasor diagram. So from this, one second, I'll make it somewhat larger. Right. So from this, I want to write the voltage equation. Okay. So let us see. Here, the induced EMF E, it is equal to the sum of all these drops, right? So to write this E, the value of E, see here we got a triangle, right? See this O, A, B is a triangle, right? From this triangle, the distance OA, what is this distance OA? It is the adjacent side of triangle OAB. So adjacent side, here hypothesis is VT and angle delta. So it becomes VT into adjacent side, right, cos of delta. So the distance OA, it is equal to VT cos delta, isn't it? Right? Then up to this point, from A to B, the distance it is equal to IQRA. So plus IQRA plus what is this remaining distance? It is equal to IDXT plus IDXT. So this will be the voltage equation for this measure. And here we got a negative sign if it is leading power factor. So plus for lagging and minus for leading power factor. You try to draw the leading power factor phasor diagram. What will be the modification? Just you need to shift this IA over left hand side. Okay, IA need to be in lead with respect to VT. That thing you need to modify. If you modify, you got this negative sign over here, just negative sign. Okay, so this will be for the case of a generator, synchronous generator. If it is a motor, synchronous motor, then in such a case, what will be our output? Our output is the back EMF and our input is the voltage. So in such a case, we got a equation like this: Vt cos delta minus IQRA minus IDXT. See here, I am subtracting here. The voltage drops from the terminal voltage. But here we are adding. Okay. This is for motor equation. And here also we got here minus for lagging and plus for leading. Reverse, just vice versa. So these are the voltage equations of motor and generator for lagging and leading power factors. And now from this, I also want to made one relation, that is a tan psi. I want to make this relation tan psi from this phasor diagram. Where we have this psi angle, this is our angle, psi angle. So to find this tan psi, I need to form a right angle triangle with this angle psi, right? To form a right angle triangle, I am extending this IA and I am drawing a line perpendicular to this IA, and it need to pass through this RA, like that I am drawing here. So it is a perpendicular line. If you draw like this, it will meet at some point over here. Let us take this point as B and this point as A, this point as A dash. Okay. So now we got a triangle OA dash B, and the angle for this triangle is psi. Okay. And I want to find tan psi. Tan psi, right? So what is the value of tan psi here? Opposite side by adjacent side. Here opposite side, it is BA dash. BA dash is the opposite side of this triangle. Why? Because here we have psi angle. So BA dash is the opposite side by adjacent side. OA dash is the adjacent side. And I can write this BA dash as BA plus AA dash C. BA plus AA dash and OA dash. Okay. Let us try to find the value of BA. We don't know this BA, right? But it is perpendicular to this armature current. If you observe this line BA, how it is perpendicular to the IA and also perpendicular to IARA. Why? Because IARA is a resistive drop. It will be in phase with IA. So this BA line, it is perpendicular with IARA. That means it seems to be a reactance drop, right? We will represent reactance drop always in perpendicular with resistive drop. So this will be some reactance drop. Let us take, I am taking it as a X into some IA or IQ. Okay. Some reactance drop it is. So X into IA, I am taking IQ, I am taking it as. Why? Because it is perpendicular with IARA, some reactance. That reactance I am representing with X. And I want to find this reactance. X, what is this reactance actually? Then only I can able to write BA, right? Now for the sake, this BA, it is equal to X into IQ. To find this X or BA distance, I am drawing a line to meet point A, and it is perpendicular to this. Now one more right angle triangle we got. This right angle triangle BCA. So from triangle BCA, what is this angle? What is this angle? So this CA, it is a line perpendicular to E, right? It is perpendicular to E, CA. And this BA is a line perpendicular to IA. So the angle between E and IA is the angle over here. So the angle between E and IA, it is psi, right? So psi means delta plus theta. So that will be the angle over here. Okay. So more analysis needed over here. If you have any doubt at any step, you raise your hand. I will once again repeat that procedure. Okay. So here the angle is delta plus theta. So from this, I want to write the value of CA. The value of CA, it is the adjacent side. So cos of angle is delta plus theta. Here hypothesis is X into IQ. X into IQ. Okay. And here what is the value of ID? If you observe the phasor diagram, this ID, it is the adjacent side of this triangle with hypothesis IA. See, this is IA, hypothesis IA, right? And here we have an angle psi. This will be the angle psi, right? See here, this is psi. then this will be the ID. So it will be opposite side. So ID, it is equal to sine of delta plus theta or psi, hypothesis IA. Similarly, IQ is a vertical component. So IA into cos of delta plus theta, isn't it? So here IA cos of delta plus theta, it is equal to what? It is equal to IQ, right? It is equal to IQ. So here CA, it is equal to X into IQ, right? X into IQ. Sorry, here it is IA. Sorry, this is armature current, IA. So let us consider it as IA. So this will be IA, okay? IA into cos theta. So IA into cos of delta plus theta, it is equal to IQ. So I am replacing this IQ over here, and it is equal to, what is the distance CA here? This distance CA, it is equal to IQ x cube. See, this distance is equal to this distance. So that's why it is equal to IQ into x cube. Okay, if you cancel out IQ, x equal to what? X cube. So this reactance, it becomes XQ, right? It is XQ into IA, isn't it? Okay, clear? Okay, IQ into XQ, this one. And what about this? This distance. What about this distance? This distance, it is equal to this distance, right? So it is the opposite side of this triangle. Here with respect to VT as hypothesis, we got one more right angle triangle. From this side, it is VT sine theta. Why? Because this side is the opposite side. Here we have an angle theta. So it is sine theta, hypothesis VT sine theta. Okay. Now we know the value of AA dash and BA. So if you know BA and AA dash, numerator over. Then what about denominator? It is OA dash. So OA dash, in this, up to this point, what is this value? It is equal to IARA, right? It is equal to IARA. And what about this? This is the adjacent side. This distance is the adjacent side of this triangle, right? In this triangle, this distance is the adjacent side. So cos of theta, and here hypothesis is VT. So it becomes VT cos theta. So that will be the equation of tan psi. So I'm writing here tan psi. I'll write over here. Tan psi, it is equal to BA. What is this BA? It is XQ into IQ. XQ IQ plus what is A dash? Here in phasor diagram, A dash, it is VT sine theta. VT sine theta. Okay. And I'll write this one as, instead of writing like this, VT sine theta plus IQ x cube. Then it will be helpful for us. Plus IQ x cube by, here this is the OA dash. OA dash equal to VT cos theta plus IARA, this distance. Okay. So this will be our tan psi. So tan psi equal to this one. And here we got plus or minus in numerator. So we know that plus for lagging and minus for leading power factor mission. This relation is helpful in while calculating the value of psi. If you want to calculate internal power factor angle, then you need to use this relation. Okay, we are going to use this relation in problems. While solving problems, you come across this relation. That's why I simplified here tan psi. That is the need of this one, otherwise not needed. So this is for generator, and the same relation if you go for motor, the tan psi becomes, it is Vt sine theta minus of plus Iq by Vt cos theta minus IARA. So here minus for lagging, this minus, and plus for leading. This is for motor. Okay. And for motor, internal power factor angle, it is equal to delta minus of plus theta for motor. So here minus for lagging and plus for leading. If it is a generator, the psi equal to delta plus or minus theta, internal power factor. So these relations you need to remember to solve the problem. Okay. So with this we completed our third unit, theoretical part. Let us see one problem related to this. Then I'll conclude this unit.